October, or as some like to call it, UPtober, what is historically known to be one of the most bullish months for the crypto market, may be different this time around. We've got a lot to go over, especially some things that have developed in the last 12 hours that could potentially disrupt the whole UPtober narrative and may not be as bullish as what we think. Let's dive into what I'm looking for. Make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button so you're notified about more updates that come up. But first off, let's take a quick look at the historic results, and as you can see that most of the time we do get quite a bullish October, with the average return in October being approximately 21%, and that has got the whole crypto market amped up, thinking that this market is going to be extremely bullish this month. Historically, during September, if we do have a green September, we have seen a green October to follow, and this time around we did happen to close September 7.8% up, leading to us thinking that if history does repeat itself, we could be seeing a very green October. But just wait, don't get excited too yet. I know everybody's been talking about this on YouTube, but I've got some stuff that they're not talking about that you need to know about, some really serious things that are going on, especially some developments have happened in the last 12 hours. So let's just hang on for a second. Bit more on the bullish side, as we can see that when the global liquidity breaks out, we have previously, once again looking at historic data, we have seen Bitcoin start its uptrend and do some quite impressive rallies. Once again, we are seeing that global liquidity breakout, and Bitcoin has still remained sideways pending the breakout. Now, could that come in October? If we're looking at the historical data, once again, what we can see is that this 2022 cycle, the markets usually go sideways for quite some time between the months of April to October. And then if we're looking at these previous cycles, we have started the big uptrend coming into October. Here we are right now, and you can see the overlay of the previous months. We could start to be turning around. But we're also seeing that FTX, people that had their money in FTX, could start to become recompensated, and this is going to be, there's going to be a hearing for this on October the 7th. Make sure to keep your eyes out on this, because if people are hearing that FTX creditors are getting their money back, this could also fuel some bullish sentiment in the market, as some crypto traders may believe that money will flow back into the crypto markets. And apparently it's up to $16 billion in cash that could be returned, and a good percentage of that could re-enter the market. But let's talk about something massive that happened in the last 12 hours that could disrupt October and actually could disrupt the rest of the bull market for us. So first off, let's talk about Iran. Last night, Iran officially declared a state of war with Israel, and what we saw is that they launched 200 missiles into Israel from Iran, causing a lot of damage. Now, this differs from the last time this happened. Last time Israel was attacked, a lot of the missiles actually didn't land, or they got destroyed whilst in the sky, but this time around they actually hit. And what we're seeing from this is that Israel's Iron Dome had failed to stop those missiles, and the strike Tel Aviv, it seems like World War III could potentially be here. Some other people on Twitter are saying, as per US Civil Defense News, World War III has begun. Now Israel will destroy nuclear stations of Iran potentially tonight. This is the start of World War III, and this administration is failing us and dragging us into World War III. But if we do look at the price action on Bitcoin over the last few hours, we did see that as the attack happened, we saw a very quick and rapid decline on Bitcoin from our previous high of around 66,000. We did come all the way down to just above 60,000 for a 9% drop. So these war tensions are definitely affecting Bitcoin, but not only that, they are also affecting the S&P 500, which we use to gauge if risk assets are trending up or down. Given the fact that Bitcoin is a risk asset, we can see that the S&P 500 has rejected well off the 1.13 level, which if you watched my previous video, we did break down what that means. I recommend going back and checking that out, and we could start to head down much deeper if war tensions do not resolve. Now, going back to the war news, we're now seeing that Israel is now vowing to retaliate after Iran has launched its unprecedented missile attack. So Israel has basically come out and said Iran has made a big mistake tonight and will pay for it. Benjamin Netanyahu told a meeting of his security cabinet late on Tuesday, the regime in Iran does not understand our determined to defend ourselves and our determined to retaliate against our enemies. So if there was already a first initial attack last night and we saw Bitcoin dump, coming into 9%, 9% overall, but there was a good 5% dump last night. What will happen if there is now another attack? Will Bitcoin dump even deeper? That needs to be something that you heavily consider when being in positions at the moment. Personally, I did deleverage a little bit just in case these tensions do escalate. I don't want to be holding massive bags of coins whilst the market is coming down, if that's what's going to happen. And according to Axios, Israeli officials state that they will soon launch a significant retaliation against Iran for Tuesday's large-scale ballistic missile attack, with targets likely to include Iranian oil industry, air defense systems, and other strategic sites across Iran. So it looks like it could get heated a lot more quicker. We could see some more attacks tonight, and for that reason, I'm just not going to be all in right now. On top of that, we're also seeing that Joe Biden is also reaffirming his support for Israel amid the Iran missile attack, meaning that the US could start to get themselves dragged into this mess as well. And because the US is out there backing Israel, what we're also now seeing is that Putin, Russia calls on Israel to withdraw its troops from Lebanon. Putin's now starting to get involved as well, saying that Russia strongly condemns the attack on Lebanon and calls Israel authorities to immediately cease hostilities, withdraw their troops. Basically, this could blow out to a massive war with multiple countries involved. And if the US is supporting Israel, then there's also the chance that Putin's going to step in and support Iran, which could blow things out of the water much, much bigger. So Iran has officially declared a state of war against Israel. Russia warns the US and Israel of serious consequences if they attack Iran. Could this be World War III incoming? We've got an analyst here that posted on Twitter. He said Bitcoin will make a bull trap above 58k. He was right, apparently. He said that it will nuke under 54k, and apparently now it's time. It will break 60k now, and then it'll crash to 50s. October will be bearish. And he believes that for the last 8 months, every call he made is correct. I am taking that for a grain of salt, but there is one thing that needs to be considered. If World War does break out, traditionally, it's not good for, historically, it's not that good for risk assets at the very beginning, to say the least. It's not going to be the best for Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is not seen as a store of value. While you may see things like gold start to trend upwards because people look to put their money in gold as a safe haven asset, Bitcoin is still classified as a risk asset and does follow risk asset markets. And that's why we do like to check the S&P 500 quite often to see the correlation, which is very high with Bitcoin. But last but not least, and guys, if you are enjoying this content, please make sure to smash that like button, share this video with your friends to keep them up to date. Hopefully you guys don't get wrecked in the crypto market. Make sure you hit subscribe because I'm going to be putting up updates every single week. What we can see is that war is breaking out. Some scholars are saying we are on the brink of World War III. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the S&P 500 fell 11% in 3 months. Today, oil prices are up 5% on Middle East tensions. So what happens during the stock market, during the times of war? And remember, stock market, the S&P 500, it's a correlation of Bitcoin. So stocks are crashing today as tensions in the Middle East have escalated. Iran just launched a major missile attack, attacking against Israel, which also sent oil prices 5% higher. We're seeing the S&P currently down. But here's a breakdown of the S&P 500's returns during major geopolitical conflicts. And what we can see is that when the last Israel-Hamas attack started, it was during one day, the market was actually up 0.3%, reached a total drawdown of 4.5%, took 14 days to bottom. And we also saw Russia-Ukraine war. In one day, it was down 2.1%, also hit a total drawdown of 6.8% before finding a bottom after 13 days and then recovering 23 days later. So in the short term, we could be quite bearish in the next couple of weeks. I am still hoping that we are going to get a bullish October, hopefully an Uptober. But from what the data is telling me, the markets are very risky at the moment. I'm personally going to be utilizing these dips to try and get some lower entries, but I'm not going to be too greedy just yet. I only think because it is still very risky of a global world war breaking out. And if that does happen, we could see much lower lows. And you can see here that the most important factor is if the war breaks out during a recession or not. Regardless of the economic state, the average 1 month return is negative. And if the market is not in a recession, the average 12-month return is 9.2% compared to negative 11.5% if a recession hits. If If you have been watching my content for some time, and if you did check out the latest video that I put out, or the last couple of videos that I put out, I have been talking about the inverted yield curve and how we could be about to hit a recession. So will we get the 9.2% or will we get the negative 11.5%? I'm going to leave you guys to decide, but make sure that you are aware of what's going on. Don't fall for all these YouTubers and all these Twitter gurus saying it's bullish, we're going to go to the moon, October's always bullish, this, that, and the other. Be aware of what's going on around the world, what's happening with the war, because if a world war does break out, we may not see that big Uptober like we all want. I hope the war does not break out and get any bigger. I hope everyone finds a level of world peace where we can all be happy, but unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. Stay safe out there. I'm going to see you on the next video. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe. See you next time. Bye for now. Please take a minute to read and understand our disclaimer. If you do not agree to this disclaimer, please close this video.